Hey everyone, morning. It's the 11th of January 2026 and welcome to today's Spark. Now I've dropped the daily because you will have noticed that I didn't show up last week. I think I showed up this time last week and then I've been a bit quiet. So let's just call this the Spark, hey, and not the Daily Spark. I might go daily occasionally, but last Sunday I shared the energy of last week, and this Sunday I'm sharing the energy of this coming week. Now, the energy, the background energies stay for the sun and the earth stay for 6 days, so it's not a proper week. So for this coming, so starting today, we've got a whole new energy, and that will run through to Friday. So I might try and jump on Friday or Saturday and give you the next 6 days background frequencies, just so that we can all be aware and more conscious of how those background frequencies are affecting us from a day-to-day basis. Now, of course, they don't override your personal human design, your natal human design, because that is who you are. It's just that these energies on a daily basis could have some underlying effect on us, depending on how sensitive you are to those background frequencies. So here we are today. I started my new job the week just gone, so 3 days at a Catholic school, and I can just tell you that is reinforcing my decision to leave corporate for good. I tried last year to leave corporate and ended up getting drawn back in. And yeah, I know it's only 1 week in, and I'm only part-time, so which is wonderful. I really enjoyed having Thursday and Friday off to do things with my daughter and just other things with the business that I was working on, which I'll tell you a little bit more about later on in this broadcast. But yeah, it was just really nice to work 3 days and then have a couple of days off. So, and that, I guess, brings me to my word of the year, which I may have shared with you in a previous broadcast, but ease. And for me, that has meant just catching myself because I tend to push, I tend to force myself to do certain things in a certain speed, and I've decided to just wind that back a little bit this year. So ease, it doesn't mean sitting still and doing nothing, it just means being more mindful. So I'd love to hear what each of you have chosen for your word of the year. I know everyone doesn't get on this bandwagon, but if you have, some people might have a phrase, some people might have an image or a visual in mind for the year ahead. So yeah, feel free to share in the comments what your word of the year is. I might even do a separate post after this and get everyone to share. So yeah, ease. You'll get a little bit of that flavour from me as we move through these broadcasts throughout the year. Now, I don't know if you can tell in the video, but I do have slightly bloodshot eyes and maybe a little bit puffy. Now, it wasn't a big night last night, so that's not why I look like this. I actually had the weirdest situation where I choked on a piece of meat and as I was eating my dinner, and honestly I thought I was going to die. My husband was ready to give me the Heimlich last night, and yeah, this piece of meat just kind of got stuck and it wasn't going anywhere and it was wedged, and I may even have inhaled it into my windpipe at some point. And anyway, I felt like my eyes were bulging out of my head and my head was throbbing So it wasn't a very nice experience, as you can imagine. So this morning I have woken up a little bit puffy and a little bit red-eyed, and just wanted to caveat that with no, it wasn't a big night on the booze last night. I did have a wine on the go, but couldn't bring myself to finish it after that experience. So anyway, let's get stuck into it. So today's spark, we're going to reflect a little bit on the week that was, and recalibrate and consciously prepare you for what's coming this week. So the week that's just gone, so we've been living inside the energy of the gate 54 and the gate 53. And at their highest, these are really powerful forces. So it's all about ambition, upward movement, and the desire to evolve, paired with expansion. So new cycles, new beginnings that are seeking out some momentum. So, but here's what actually happens in real life sometimes, and I found myself getting stuck in this a little bit, and we'll run through it, and then you can have a think about how it may have turned up for you this week. So, especially in work and business, instead of letting ambition pull us forward, many of us will tend to repress it. And when I say pulling us forward, I don't mean in a really pushy way, just in that natural kind of momentum forward. And we repress it because we play safe. So you may have stayed contained last week. You may have talked yourself out of starting anything at all. And why would we do that? Because beneath ambition, there's often a very quiet fear. We may not even realise it. It can be very unconscious, but they're little things that whisper to us, what if this doesn't work? What if I put my energy into this and it goes nowhere? What if I try and I confirm my worst fear that this is futile? So rather than risk disappointment at all, we tend to stall or stay stuck. Just have a quick drink. So we end up sort of staying in that one place and staying stuck because fear is in control. So instead of launching something, you might refine, you wait rather than create, you tell yourself you're being strategic when really you're just being extra careful. And if this week just gone felt more like hesitation and second guessing or holding yourself back from something, you probably didn't imagine it. It is part of this frequency, and it's what we call the shadow side of ambition. So it's where ambition meets fear. So ask yourself, where did I hold back this week, and how can I role model healthy ambition and start creating the future I am truly seeking? So that was last week. So reflect on that and see where that may have shown up for you. You may have felt some nice healthy ambition and made some steps towards something new. And if you have, congratulations, and keep going. Keep that energy and that momentum with whatever you've started last week into this week's brand new energy. So today on through to Friday, we're moving into the energy of the gate 61, which will be in the sun, and gate 62, which will be in the earth. So, that's the other way around. The sun will be in the gate 61 and the earth will be in the gate 62. So this gate lives in the head, gate 61. It's the gate of inner truth. So that's where the sun is sitting at the moment and for the next 6 days. So this gate actually lives in the head, or the inspiration center, and is all about inner knowing, insight, and truth. So in its shadow, it looks and feels like mental pressure. It's you trying to seek to know the unknown. So really, that's pretty futile, right? If it's unknown, you can't know it. So you've got this pressure going on in your inspiration center. So you might find yourself overthinking and waiting for certainty before acting. So if you recognize the shadow from last week that we just spoke about, that sort of sitting still, staying stuck, it's actually a stupidly easy path to move from that to this week's energy where fear, so fear was in control potentially last week, stopping you from progressing. So you might find as you move into this week, you may remain stuck because you're strategically waiting for certainty. So this mental pressure is causing you to stop, stay stuck and wait for certainty. But the truth is certainty will only come once you've taken action. Otherwise, how do you know what's right? You've got to take action to understand, well, was that the right direction to go? Was that the right step to take? And if not, you kind of pivot and step back and then step in a different direction. So certainty just won't come while you're sitting still. You have to take a step, even a little step, before you know whether you're heading in the right direction. So if you're sitting there stuck in uncertainty, you'll stay stuck if you don't take the first step. So if we are feeling the high expression of this energy, we can switch that script and start trusting our own insight without needing to wait for full proof. So by acting from our own inner truth, we allow clarity to emerge over time. We can respect that inner wisdom, even if you can't yet explain it. So think about this. Logic used incorrectly is just a brick wall. Our unconscious mind is always trying to protect us. So if fear is running the show, your logical brain will justify playing small, and it will continue to hide and to stay still because the unconscious mind will do whatever it can to keep us safe. So I'm inviting you to look those fears in the eye and let your unconscious mind know that it's okay, that we can stop trying to mentally justify every next move. And instead, let's ask ourselves, what do we already know is true about this situation? And then act on that, even if logic comes later. Logic is, honestly, can be our worst enemy. It really can get in the way of so many things. And your body knows better than logic, because honestly, you can logic yourself into any belief. So this is your invitation to let logic fall by the wayside. Listen to your body, take your first step, and then allow logic to come in as you're moving through your journey, through your path, through realizing your goals. Logic has a place, but not if it's keeping us stuck. So then with the gate 62, so we'll be grounded in precision and details. So this gate resides in the throat, or the communication and manifestation center. So it's about language, structure, naming things clearly, and practical articulation. So in its lowest frequency, we might find ourselves getting lost in details, going down rabbit holes, over-explaining things, allowing overload of information to keep us stuck. So there's really this, in the shadow, there's all this energy around sort of staying still and playing safe. But if we look at it from the high expression or the gift, we can look at it in terms of simplifying complex concepts. So if you find yourself going down the rabbit hole, just stop yourself and start thinking about, well, what do you already know? What can you simplify about what you already know and clearly communicate to enhance collective understanding? So this is all about the collective and us simplifying and understanding. So this is where knowledge has been conceptualized. So as we move from the inspiration center, so knowledge comes in, we conceptualize it in the mind, or in human design we call that the ajna, And then it comes down, we can simplify it through that conceptualization process, and it comes out of the throat. So it's about simplifying before expressing. So if you find yourself over speaking, trying to explain things in a really complex way, just sort of stop yourself and think, okay, how can I simplify this? And then express it for all to understand. So by simplifying and expressing your ideas, you allow them to be tested and validated. And again, this is all about the collective. So think about either in a workplace or in your family or your friend group or a sporting team. Like, how can we simplify the language that we're trying to find and to test our ideas and validate them out in the real world. So if you found yourself, or you may find yourself, working through sprawling strategies or complicated frameworks, maybe you've started something new at work and there's this big sprawling strategy or big complicated framework, this is the week to make sure that the steps have been clearly outlined and the overall message is clarified so others can understand and act immediately. So together these two gates ask for a powerful balance. So you need insight first, so that inspiration, and then the precision in explaining it and helping other people understand. So it's not certainty and it's not perfection, it's just truth and careful focus. So how to work with this energy practically over the next few days. So we need to let insight lead and not allow that familiar push of urgency to make us move before we're ready. So it looks like mindfulness before action. And speak plainly instead of performing expertise. So the objective is understanding, not admiration. So you want people to walk away feeling like they have a deeper understanding of a concept rather than admiration for what it is that you're sharing. So we make decisions that feel clean, not forced, and we choose clarity over cleverness. So it's excellent energy for refining your message, preparing to launch something, or getting honest about what you're ready to move towards and what you've done circling around. So give up circling around stuff and move towards the thing that you've been working on. Okay, so that's the background frequencies. I'm just going to give you a light little teaser for what I've got coming this week. I'm hoping, I wanted to launch it yesterday, but a few technical things have come up, so I will no doubt be launching it in this week, and you guys will be the first to know. So it is my From Fear to Freedom Masterclass, and I'll be opening the doors this week, hopefully. And this work is for people who are done pretending fear isn't influencing their decisions. So if you join me on this masterclass, you'll start to understand how fear operates in your life, your career, or your business, and you can finally stop letting it run the show. So this week might have stirred up some ambition you've been holding back. If you recognise the pattern and that pattern of hesitating, staying stuck, or overthinking your next move, this masterclass is built precisely for that moment. So I want you to keep an eye out in the group. You will be the first to know. And hopefully some of you might want to jump on board and join me for this masterclass. At this stage, depending on when I finally open the doors to enrolments, it will be on Saturday the 31st of January. Perfect timing for setting those goals into the new year. And yeah, I'd love for some of you to jump on board, and you get lots of goodies. You've got a beautiful little report, a human design report that is all about the fears, the 20 fears in your human design body graph. So it will tell you all of those things, and then we'll learn how to manage that fear as a gift rather than letting it control our decision making. Okay, so hopefully you've got a little bit of a spark from today. In closing, stay close to your truth. Say less, but say it clearly, and trust that clarity comes from movement, not waiting. And I'll see you in the next spark. Bye for now.